Hi, second graders. It's Mrs. Cole here. Today we are going to read the book, The Biggest Valentine Ever, and then do a craft after that. So please make sure that you pause the video and collect this sheet here. It says The Biggest Valentine Ever, and it's got 5 hearts on it. So pause the video, make sure you grab this sheet, and then hit play when you're ready to continue. Okay, as I said before, we are going to read the book, The Biggest Valentine Ever. So let's sit back, take a listen, watch with our good reading eyes, and enjoy.
Biggest Valentine Ever. Written by Stephen Crowell. Illustrated by Jenny Bassett. Once there were 2 mice who fell in love with the same Valentine. But it didn't start out that way. The day before Valentine's Day, Mrs. Mousley asked all the students in her class at Mouseville School to make Valentine cards. The 2 friends, Clayton and Desmond, decided to make a card together and give it to Mrs. Mousley as a surprise. Clayton cut a big heart out of cardboard. Desmond made a heart-shaped hole in the middle. Desmond cut out some small pink hearts and pasted them around the hole. Then he added a few more. Clayton glued glitter on the hearts. Then he glued on more glitter. He stepped back. "You put too many hearts on," Clayton said. Desmond was upset. "You put too much glitter on the hearts." "Well, why did you make that hole in the middle?" asked Clayton. "I thought it looked nice," said Desmond. "It doesn't look nice. It looks awful," yelled Clayton. "I think it looks very nice," said Desmond, frowning. They glared at each other. "I don't want to make a Valentine with you," yelled Clayton. "I don't want to make a Valentine with you," yelled Desmond. They tore their Valentine in half. "I'm going to make my own Valentine," said Clayton. "I'm going to make my own Valentine," said Desmond. That night at dinner, Clayton's dad said, "Son, you look sad. Can I help?" Clayton hung his head. He told his dad about the Valentine. Clayton's dad thought for a moment. "You guys may make nice Valentines on your own, but I think you would make a nicer Valentine together." At the same time, over at Desmond's house, Uncle Vernon said exactly the same thing. But Clayton didn't listen to his dad. He marched back to his room and began to make his very own Valentine. He cut a big heart out of cardboard, but he didn't put a hole in the middle. He put pink hearts around the edge, but not enough pink hearts. Then Clayton put glitter on the hearts, but it was too much glitter. He stepped back and looked at his Valentine. It just wasn't right. At the same time, Desmond was making his very own Valentine. He cut a big heart out of cardboard, but he wasn't good at cutting large things, and the heart was lopsided. He made a neat, heart-shaped hole in the middle. But then he put too many hearts around the hole. He sprinkled on some glitter, but not enough glitter. Desmond stepped back and looked at his Valentine. It just wasn't right. The next morning, Clayton and Desmond took the school bus. They sat far away from each other. But as they were getting off, Desmond tripped on the stairs. He bumped into Clayton and they fell down. I think we should try making our Valentine again, said Clayton. No one said we couldn't, said Desmond. In art class, Clayton and Desmond put their heads together and came up with a plan. Then Clayton cut out the biggest, most perfect red heart anyone had ever seen. They added a pink heart to fit in the middle. Then Desmond, who was good at cutting small things, cut out some tiny pink hearts and pasted them onto the big red heart. Clayton added some glitter and cut out a bunch of other hearts. Desmond made a nose on one and a mischievous eye. Then they glued all the hearts together. They stepped back to look at their card. It was a giant Valentine mouse. Wow, said Clayton. We did it. Wow, said Desmond. We did it together. They gave each other a high five. They cut up a lace doily and glued it around the edge. Then they wrote on their card in big letters, Happy Valentine's Day to Mrs. Mousley. We love you, Clayton and Desmond. They carried the Valentine to their classroom and gave it to Mrs. Mousley. She clapped with delight. The whole class cheered. It was the biggest Valentine ever, and it was also the best. Thank you for visiting Granny's Bookmark to get more information.
Okay, so, sorry everybody, give me just a second. So now we are going to work on making our own little Valentine like Clayton and Desmond did with the hearts that we have here. So your first task is to color it and decorate it however you want. So you can color it, you can put stickers on them, you can put glitter, glue, tape, markers, whatever it is you want to do, and then cut them out. So take the time to color, and then we'll work on cutting. And then once you have it all colored, you're going to cut it out like this. Whoa, all right. So now you're going to take your pieces here and you're going to assemble them onto either a page from your art book, or you can use just a blank sheet of paper if you can't find your art book. So remember, we had one big piece that was for the body, one medium-sized piece, which is for the head, two pieces for the feet, and one piece that we'll use for the ears. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my body and I'm going to decide how I want it to look. So when I put it on my sheet, do I want my body to look like this, where the feet come down here and then the head's up here? Or do I want my body like this, where my head is like that? And it looks like it has a really big chest, like it's a super buff mouse. Your choice, your artistic choice. So I'm going to take my glue. Whoa, where is my glue? Let me go find it. Okay, so I've got my glue stick. Oh, okay. So here's my heart, and this is facing me, so I'm gonna glue it the way that I want it to look on my side, but you might want it to look different. So I think I'm gonna glue my mouse like that. So I'm gonna put my body and flip it over, and I'm gonna outline with my glue, just to make sure I get every edge down, and then an X across the middle to make sure the middle stays down. There we go. And remember, you can do this however you want. And just for an artistic touch, I'm going to outline the body with a marker, just because that's what I want to do. You don't have to do this part though. But if that was something you're interested in, this is how you do it. You just take your marker, you kind of rest it on your shape, and you just follow the outline. Okay, there. All right, now I'm gonna take my head and I'm just gonna glue on the corner. You're probably gonna want your head, I'll turn this towards you, to look like this instead of your head being like this, because that would be kind of a weird shape for the head of your mouse. Excuse me. It wouldn't really be pointed at the top. Plus, when you have these two little lumps here, it kind of gives way to the ears, which is helpful. So, excuse me. I'm gonna just do the corner here, make my corner purple, like a triangle of it. Take my other edge and boom, put it right on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and it's on there. And same thing, I'm gonna make sure that this is glued down. So I'll do a circle there, and a circle there. There we are. And I'm gonna outline. Again, this is just how Mrs. Cole wants to do it for my artistic touch. You do not have to do it like this. There we go, just the outside, not the inside if you're outlining. Okay, so I have the beginning part of my mouse, I have my body and I have my head. Now I have 2 feet and I've got my little ears right here. So I'm gonna take my feet and decide, do I want my feet to be pointed like that, or do I want my feet to be the shapes of the hearts like that? So here are the options. I'm actually going to lift this corner up a little bit. It's a nice thing about glue is you can lift. So my feet could look like this, or my feet could look like this. So it's totally your choice. I might make one foot like this and then the other foot normal, and I'm gonna make it a peg leg pirate. Yarg, pirate mouse. All right, so I'm going to, I have this one tabby up. I'm gonna put glue back down underneath it. And because I have the outline, it helps me know where to put the glue. So I will just kind of fill in down here. And then I'm gonna poke this in and sandwich it in there. Oh, I also need to put glue on top of it so that the top part will stick to it too. Okay, and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And then I'm gonna make my peg leg pirate little mouse here. So again, I have my outline showing me where my boundary is. So I can go ahead and put glue down. And I'm gonna put glue on the top part of this too, so that when I stick my heart in, bink, it sandwiches in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there we go. And I am on the right track to make a peg leg pirate mouse Valentine. Okay, last step, the ears. So you're gonna take your ears, you have your top, and they're going to end up going right, they could go right there. I have an idea though, hold on just a second. Okay, so the mouse already kind of looks like he has ears. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this heart and I'm going to use it in a couple of different ways. So I'm going to use it to help me make the nose and to make the ears more noticeable. So I've got my little heart. I'm going to cut my heart right about there. So I've got the top part of the heart. I'm going to cut that in half right down the middle where that divot is. Okay. And then I can glue those 2 pieces right here to make the ears. And I'm going to take the pink bottom part of my heart that I cut off, and I'm going to make it slightly smaller actually. and use it for my nose right there. So just so that you can see it a little bit more clearly, I took my heart and I cut it. So this was the top part of the heart, and I cut it in half right where it the first hump goes over. I cut it, and now I'm going to glue them so that the rounded edge matches the rounded edge of my ear. I'm gonna glue it on. Bloop. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I took the bottom part of that heart and I cut off just the tiny triangle tip. I'm going to use that for my mouse nose. So glue that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And there we have everything on here. Now I'm going to finish outlining my feet. And then I'm going to decorate the rest of this mouse so that you can tell it for sure is a peg leg mouse pirate Valentine. So I probably need black. Oh, actually. So I'm going to use black. And I'm going to give them an eye patch because it is a pirate. Ahoy. Yar. Okay, eye patch for my little mouse. I will give it some whiskers because it is a mouse. And then I'm gonna add some stripies to my peg leg so that it looks a little bit more like some kind of a pegged leg. There we go. Perfect. And here's my version of a Valentine mouse. So here's Mrs. Cole's pirate peg leg little mouse. If you didn't make it like this, that is totally fine. You could just make a normal mouse. But the most important thing is after you've been super creative with the hearts, you add in the details that you need so that you can tell for sure it's a little mouse. Oh, I was also thinking maybe you could even use like this extra bit of paper. If you've trimmed it up nicely, you can make a bow out of it, or you can make a tail or something else, whatever it is that you want to do. Feel free to make other animals also. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mouse. You could redo this project and cut out your own kinds of parts and make other animals or insects. All right, second graders, it's been super fun. And I am gonna go put my little pirate mouse on display for Valentine's Day. This is Mrs. Cole signing off. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you again next time. Bye, second graders. Happy Valentine's Day.